No one's coming to save you. You are responsible for the problems in your own life. You are responsible for making your life the best that it can be. You are responsible for overcoming and continuing forward in your own life. And of course, there are those who have helped us along our journey in this life. There are those who have uplifted us. There are those who have supported us through our problems. But at the end of the day, the problems we have in our lives are ours to overcome. And we can look at this negatively and be like, oh God, I have so much I have to do. I have so much I have to overcome. I have so much I have to get through, to muster up the courage to keep swallowing my courage every single morning in order to carry forward. Or we could look at it like, I've survived 100% of my hardest days so far in my life, and I will continue conquering them, and I will continue going forward. I have been having the strangest time recently. The strangest time in the sense that I wake up every day and I feel like something's wrong. And I can't really describe what exactly is wrong. I just know something's wrong. And not in a way like impending doom, like I think something awful is going to happen today, but more in like a quiet, subtle, something is eating at me and I don't know what it is. The problem with my life is not that I don't know what to do, it's that I'm too scared to do it. That's really my biggest and greatest problem right now. And there's no one around me that can give me the courage to do what I want to do. They can be encouraging, yes. They can cheer me on. But really, truthfully, even if this perspective sounds a little selfish, at the end of the day, I'm the only one that can solve it. I am the only one that can solve the problem within my life. And the problem is that I'm scared. I'm really scared about the steps forward I have to take because I know they're going to change my life. I know that the things that I have to do are going to disrupt my routines. They're going to change my life. They're going to make me uncomfortable. They're going to push me farther than I've ever gone before. And that's terrifying. Simply because there's going to be a lot of change. There's going to be a lot of confusion, a lot of figuring it out, a lot of continuing forward. But you know what you have to do in life? You have to do it scared. You have to do it alone. You have to do it when you are so confused and lost and scared that you do not know what is going to happen next, and then you get up and you keep going. There's not a lot of people standing in your own way except yourself. Anything is fucking possible. Anything. And we limit ourselves to think that only certain things are possible for some people, or others can do it but I can't, or there's this reason why I can't do it, and this reason I can't do it, and this reason I can't do it. Fuck it. Fuck every single reason you have in your head that is keeping you back from the things that you want in this life. If you have a vision, if you have a dream, if you have a goal, then be relentless about that. Be indescribably relentless about that. Do not have that goal out of selfishness. Do not have that goal out of vanity. Do not have that goal out of wounds of self-destruction. Have that goal out of love for yourself, of wanting to see yourself go as far as you possibly can and then keep going. I think I've been scared my whole life. Scared that I was never going to be good enough. Scared that people were never going to love me. Scared that I was going to go my whole life without ever being someone. So you know what I did? I chased goals of vanity. I chased goals of titles. I chased goals of medals, and it didn't make me feel fulfilled, and it didn't make me feel happy, and it didn't make me feel excited. And I had a long sit down with myself because I was reading in my psychology textbook about meditation, and I used to be a huge fan of meditation. And then I went through a very rocky period in my life, and I just stopped doing it entirely. And I was like, hey, I forgot that was even a thing. I forgot meditation was even a thing. So I decided to sit down with myself for just a fucking second. And I was like, what do you want, Bailey? What is it you want when everything in the world falls away? What is it that your heart calls to? And I sat there with that idea. What do I want? Without any outside influence, without any chasing of things, without any fear. What is it that you want deep down in your heart, Bailey? And there was a whole bunch of things that came up. And I'm going to be quiet on what those things are until I've reached them. Because I had a friend one time that said the words, I'm quiet on my goals because it makes them easier to reach. Meaning that the more you talk about your goals, the harder it is to reach them sometimes, because everyone has their opinion, and or you get distracted by those opinions. But as I sat there and I thought about my future, not as a giant mountain that I have to overcome or a giant obstacle I'm pushing myself to or a huge goal that I want to accomplish, but rather just a quiet inner knowing of what my soul's purpose on this planet was for just a half a fucking second, and just sat there with that. I thought, I'm so fucking scared to actually become who I want to be. I'm so afraid to go into a future that is rocky, that is confusing, that is going to require new skills and new opportunities, and it's going to require a different part of my heart and soul to get to these things. But it also made me think, what if? Like, what if I could pull off the things that I actually deep down truly want? And there wasn't like a weird competitive feeling of, I have to reach these, I have to do this has to happen, I have to succeed. There wasn't a have to, there was an I want to. And I think knowing that distinction between yourself of what you have to do is normally fear-based. What you have to do is normally, just random being an adult things that you have to do. But what do you want to do? That's a different story entirely, one that takes a lot of soul searching. But when I think about the things that I want to do in this life, I'm flooded, absolutely flooded with chills all over my body of what I think I can achieve. And again, not in a competitive sense, but in my soul will finally be at peace if I do these things. Kind of like a massive side quest that I get to go on. Like I'm living life, but then these wants that I want are like this, like the reason for me being here. And I hope you all can find that. I hope you're able to sit down for just a moment and hear that ringing from your soul for just a second. And you might feel a kind of peace and presence when you understand and know what your soul's purpose on this planet is. And I say that not in a like a weird, offbeat spiritual sense, but I hope you're able to find peace with your presence on this planet. I hope you're able to understand your talents and your knowledge and your complexity in such a way that you know what you as an individual can provide this planet. You know what you bring to the table. Because I think that's one of the truest gifts we can ever receive, is just knowing why the fuck we are here. And I used to have that feeling back when I was a ballerina. I really did truly think that my entire life, I was just made to dance. And that's all I did for a really long time. I just thought, I'm going to get up on that stage every single night and I'm just going to dance. I'm just going to dance. I'm going to dance to make people smile and to make people feel and to make people cry and to make people laugh. I'm going to dance with all the love in my heart, and that love is somehow going to find its way into the heart of the audience. And I thought, that's what I'm going to do. Then my heart gave out and my body stopped working the way that I needed it to. And I think there was a piece of me that didn't want to follow my heart anymore. I think there was a piece of me that said, hey, you know what? If I can't do what I love, then I'm just going to be great instead. So I think that's where that idea of I'm going to go and get a PhD and be an ultramarathon runner came from, is the idea that if I cannot be what I want to be, then I will become great. I need to be great. We don't need to be great necessarily. We need to follow what our heart calls to, because that's where we're meant to be, It's kind of like it's an instinctual thing also. I think your brain, body, heart, soul, mind, they all know what you would be the best at and where you would fit into this world. Almost instinctually, it can kind of sense out where the safest place for you in the universe is. And if you don't follow that and you instead follow a different path, you will become extremely unhappy in the process. And or your body will start to break down. You'll get mysterious illnesses, mysterious injuries. You will start to feel awful inside and out. You will be more stressed than you could ever imagine when you're on the wrong path, simply because it is not where you are meant to be. But when you do find where you're meant to be, chase that shit with all you fucking have.